Okay, here we go. Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is John Tapp with the Mac Ambem. Today is heavy cargo uh, uh, delivery night. So, starting with Washington. Uh, so, it's going to be the railcar mover and not as far from my warehouse. So, let's go get that and get moving.
Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left. Here we are, safe and sound. Let's do this. Okay, let's find a new route. Turn right. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Caution, please mind the speed limit. Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
So I didn't want him to feel bad. He was excited about the water park. He's like, got your tickets. I knew you would like it. And so that's something I learned about him because I went to the water park but it's Indonesia, so the water park is just the ocean. He pulled
Nature's
me.
water park.
Oh yeah, I was like, excuse me, this is the ocean? And he was like, yes.
You have to pay for entry?
You had to buy tickets to get on like
Go
the
straight
water
on.
rides that the locals brought onto the ocean.
Nice.
And that's what you ride.
Okay.
Yeah. he's a thrill seeker, and he doesn't ask questions, important questions like, do you swim or do you like water parks?
Did you end up swimming?
I mean, I near drowned multiple times.
Did he
Because
save you?
We're in the ocean.
Yeah.
He didn't
Waves
go on the
moving.
rides with me. He just took
Stop.
pictures. He was like, I'm gonna be a dad and just watch you as you go on these fun rides.
And you don't stop and say, Dad, I can't swim?
No, because I'm like, well, maybe I can handle it. You know, there's got to be rules. There's paperwork probably you sign.
Uh-huh.
No, it's
Just go.
anything goes. It's the ocean. So yeah, it's like there's like paragliding. I went paragliding. There was like a flying fish boat ride where you're attached to a boat, and like it like flies you in the air.
And you did that.
I did that, all of that. Almost died.
You're brave.
You'll do anything to try to reconnect on lost years with a loved one, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Afterwards, I told him, oh, by the way, I can't swim.
What did he say?
And the whole time, I was scared and
Yeah.
kind of regretting it.
Mhm. What did he say?
Well, to be honest, I had gotten hurt from one of
Go
the
straight
rides.
on.
No.
And so, you know, he was very like apologetic, and, you know, I was like, let's just like sit down and have a drink and catch up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all I want to do. And he was like, you're right. That's kind of what I've been wanting to do too. I just thought, you know, if we stayed busy, we wouldn't get sad, right? Talking about years lost, if you know. And I was like, oh my God.
That's what
And
you
that
wanna
is
talk
very
about.
sad. Yeah, that's very sad.
In another interview, you talked about how underneath your comedy is this layer of sadness. And it felt really poignant. Describe the sadness.
Yeah, it's things like that I just said, you know, with like missing out on years from my dad, especially since it's not something we both wanted, right? But then also understanding my grandma and my mom's side of things. You know, my mom has mental illness, which is not something neither of them wanted either.
Yeah.
And so it was just everyone trying their best to figure out what's best for me. You know, because my dad was busy and working all the time, and he already had 2 other kids from a different marriage he was raising on his own.
Yeah.
So my grandma was like, well, maybe I can take this lift off of him, she said. And also, Otsko is the only thing, you know, we kind of have, especially for my mom.
Yeah.
My mom felt like I'm the only thing she has. And so to have that taken away, full custody, you know, when the judges gave my mom full custody, my dad full custody, sorry, my mom felt like, oh, well, then what do I have?
That's a lot of pressure
Yeah.
for a young Usko to know that your mother is saying, you're all I have.
I wasn't
That's
told that. I
pressure.
didn't know.
You didn't feel that?
I didn't know what I felt. I felt confused. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Adults are wild. I didn't know what I was
Just be
feeling.
doing kidnappings.
I was like, these people? They're in charge?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Listeners, if you're having fun with us right now, tell a friend about us. I know you have a friend who will probably love this conversation with Utsko as much as I do. So let's keep that party going. Share this episode with that friend of yours who needs to hear it. All right, time now for a break. When we come back, more with comedian Utsko Okatska. Stay with us.
Houston Public Media brings to you PBS World, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on TV 8.6. Experience the personal connection behind the headlines with programming devoted to telling stories that humanize complex issues. PBS World helps us understand the movements, conflicts, and cultures that connect us all. PBS World on TV 8.6 and online at HoustonPublicMedia.org.
Houston Public Media is rooted in our community. We show up at school board meetings, city council votes, and neighborhood events.
That's how you stay informed about what's happening around you through deep local reporting that brings clarity and insight.
Your support powers this public service, so Greater Houston stays informed, connected, and safe.
Support local journalism right now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. Next time on Latino USA. Political insiders still disagree on why Democrats are losing Latino voters. Is it faulty data, tone-deaf messaging, or something that goes deeper? That's next time on Latino USA.
Latino USA, Sundays at 7 p.m. here on News 88.7.
Hey, y'all, it's the Sam Sanders Show with hot takes and big thoughts on pop culture every week. Back to my conversation with comedian Atsuko Okatsuka. Her new stand-up special is called Father, and it's streaming right now on Hulu. This special is very funny, but the jokes also get very deep. There's a whole interlude about how Atsuko reconnected with her own father after being estranged from him for most of her childhood.
I have reconnected with my dad, and we're very close. But he really wants me to have kids because he thinks that's how you undo a traumatic past. And I always have to be like, oh, Dad, I think our family should stop. Should stop.
Let's get back into it.
I want to go back to you saying that, like, underneath your comedy is sadness, because I feel like there are many ways to process sadness. I know a lot of people whose sadness just turns to anger. Mm-hmm. And I felt myself do that sometimes, where there's a sadness or a gloom that I cannot turn into something fun. It becomes something more negative. Mm-hmm. It's a special skill to be able to take those negative feelings and turn them into art that connects with people. Mm-hmm. What do you think makes you able to do that? Because not everyone can. And I don't think that turning sadness into comedic joy is people's default.
Right, yeah. I think, the need to be liked
Get ready to turn
also
left.
helps. And
Okay.
because then that comes with like an ego, right? And I also loved performing. So
Turn
it
left.
just naturally, stand-up comedy made sense for all those things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in stand-up comedy, you have to make things funny.
You have to. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
So and I love to do that. I love to make people feel good. And so it just all was the perfect formula that, it just all pointed towards stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Instead of turning it into anger, I don't really know what that is,
Wow. Teach me your ways. Teach me your ways.
I could get mad, of course, get bitter. I'm on antidepressants now, but I don't know. Sometimes you go, I don't want to be like my mom or, whoever raised you, because you go, well, she's suffering and, I got to be the opposite of that. Sometimes it's that too.
I get it. No, I saw some parallels with your story with your mother. My mother, for the last 20 or 22 years of her life, she was dealing with a stroke that had paralyzed her, and then dealing with massive depression and dementia. And so for years, everyone around her, myself included, we were taking care of her, but also having to experience with her these really, really dark, negative emotions for a long time.
Right, yeah.
And I assume you had the same experience with, your mother for your entire life. And what I found myself doing with my mother was, when I could, using comedy, trying to be funny, just to get us through it.
Right. Totally.
And so I wonder if some of you now, being someone who is so good at making people happy, was there a bit of you as a kid that was getting practice with your mom?
I was kind of scared of her as a kid, so I didn't really try to spend too much time with her, because she would scare me or didn't make me feel safe.
Yeah.
So, but when I did, feel bad for her and I had enough
Turn
energy or confidence, I would, like perform with her, we would like dance a little bit or, imagine scenarios and play pretend together.
What kind of scenarios?
Like fighting off like demons and stuff like that.
Sounds like a very schizophrenic game.
Totally. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't even know what schizophrenia was at the time,
Yeah.
I knew she was off, different, and had these wild thoughts and ideas. But it was wild. Maybe I was, starting a new form of therapy. And I was, not being seen. Yeah. Because it worked, she would snap out of it and fight the demons with me.
Really? What kind of demons?
just like ghosts,
Yeah.
evil spirits
Yeah.
that were like coming to us from the right side or the left side, or I didn't know north, west, south, east, so I would be like, they're coming from the
They're
west
coming.
side,
Yeah.
or they're coming from the right side, and then we would like pretend to like punch that way.
Really? How
Whatever
old were you
that's
when
called.
This was happening?
Like 7. Yeah, and she
Wow.
would do it too, and then for some reason we would both feel better. I don't know, that's not comedy. I didn't know what stand-up comedy was, so
Yeah.
I wasn't like holding a brush, being like, okay, what's the deal with you
What is
know,
the deal with
charcoal?
schizophrenia?
Yeah, totally. I wish, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's really beautiful. And that's a lot of, whether you realize it or not, a lot of maturity and strength to have as a 7-year-old.
Right, I have a lot of emotional. I grew up emotionally very, very fast, but I don't know how to do the dishes.
Listen, we can't do it all. We can't do it all.
Yeah, I'm like 80 years old emotionally, you know,
Yeah.
but then because of my circumstances,
Yeah.
when it comes to tangible adult skills,
Listen,
I'm like 12.
that's okay though, because you can outsource the physical labor to mother, your husband. You can't outsource the emotional labor.
Sure, that's very true.
So you've chosen the better path.
Wow, I'll tell my haters that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, I am very emotionally mature.
Mm-hmm.
I am fun and have a good personality. And they'll be like, yes, Atsuko, we're just asking that you please pick up after yourself. What? Yes, I heard you. But I'm very mature.
Very mature. Very mature. I love it. How is your mother today?
Oh, she's the same. Yeah, she's the same. Not necessarily, you know, with age, you actually get worse.
Oh, schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's depression, there's OCD, you know, right? And then physical ailments too because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were saying your grandmother's getting a little bit frail as well.
Right, yeah.
I think I forget which interview you were talking about, but you had the experience of having to give your grandmother a bath for the first time.
Right, yeah.
That's emotional.
It was emotional, but also turned into like a circus
Go
very
straight
quick
on.
too.
How?
Because I don't know what I'm doing, remember? I don't.
rocket science.
Okay, but I was like, do I do it from outside? I got in the tub with her.
Probably have to. Yeah. Because you're not going to stay dry.
So I got
I've
in the.
done many baths for my parents. You got to just get in there.
Did you get naked?
No, I kept something on.
Okay,
The
I got
secret about-
naked.
You got naked.
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It was just like muscle memory. I was naked. I got in there first.
Uh-huh.
I laid down, and then I was gonna have her come on top of me,
Yeah.
so I could wash her like an otter.
Yeah. Was she okay with that?
She was like, "What are you doing? Get your clothes back on." And I was like, "I don't know why I'm naked. I don't know. I think it was muscle memory. I don't know." I was like, "This is weird for me too." And then she was very slippery because she had put lotion all over her body before
Before the bath?
So we're both like, it was like a circus.
Yeah.
We almost died, near concussed. 2 people screaming, not knowing I could kill somebody. You need skills and experience to do these things, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try again. Okay, this time I'm wearing a bathing suit.
Here's the life hack.
Yeah.
Shower chair. You want a shower chair with a bath
Oh.
on it.
Oh, right.
Because then she's just going to be sitting. And then you're going to be close
I want
to
her
you,
to
but not.
soak. I wanted her to be able to
She ain't gonna
soak.
soak. No. You got to this.
I wanted her to
your
have that
priority
experience
when you're
too.
giving an adult member of your family a bath
Mm-hmm.
is to get it done as quickly as possible.
Wow.
That is a priority. How can I clean you, rinse you, dry you, and moisturize you as quickly as possible?
I'm all about, yeah, my sickness is that I always want to give people the experience that I get to have. Why do I get to have a bath, but you can't? You know?
Yeah, I
and
get
so
that.
I'm like, I'm going to help you get that experience.
Mhm.
2 hours later, both of us, me all bruised up,
Yeah.
bleeding.
But you're clean.
Yeah, my husband was like knocking, he heard us screaming in there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so he was like, open the door, open the door. Do I need
Go
to call
straight on.
anyone? Do I need to call 911? I'm like, we're fine. But like, truth is, she was slipping and sliding. I was like trying to catch a dolphin. I was like banging myself up. It was truly a horror film.
All right, if you're just now joining me, I'm talking with comedian Atsuko Okatsuka. Her latest stand-up special is called Father.
Here's my question for you, though. We've talked about how in the relationship, he is the one who's better at the physical labor. He is mother. You are father.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say to your husband, you're giving grandma a bath?
Well, because what if it, I'm 12. What if they cheat on me?
Girl!
You don't know our dynamic.
I sure don't.
What if they fall in love?
In the bathtub.
You never know. Sometimes all it takes is a common enemy, and I am that. They're like, yeah, let's get a load of this useless person.
You said it, not me.
Because it's not illegal, right?
You're right on all counts. I'm just.
Sam, love is love.
Love
And you
is
will not take this away from my grandma and my husband.
See, now you're shipping it. Now you're like, actually, my grandma needs to.
I'm
Yeah.
always on the line, on the verge of like, yeah, I'm always like, family dynamics are not conventional. I don't know why we ever pretend they
Listen,
should be.
I tell people, sometimes it's a nuclear family, other times it's a nuclear bomb.
Go
Oh,
straight
yeah.
on.
Of course it's going to be unhinged. Of course I'm imagining scenarios where, husband falls in love with grandma. My mom was hitting on my husband, too, for a long time.
Oh, really?
She went through a very thirsty period where we were like, what is going on with her? I tried to find her a sex worker.
Whoa, hold up. You did.
Yes.
Good on you.
Yes.
Progressive daughter.
They need to show this kind of Asian family on TV. I said, fresh off the boat, people are like, oh, is that kind of where your family's like? I'm like, no, my family is like Parasite, the movie.
It's your family starts with the kidnapping.
They're like, fresh off
That's
the boat.
the open.
Yeah, they're like, fresh off the boat, kind of like
Yeah,
that.
no,
They didn't fit in with their white neighbors. I'm like, we don't even fit in our own community of Asians. Other Asians look at us like, what is this?
Really?
Are they white? Because we're so unhinged. We're like, no, this is mental illness. They don't show it on TV. But yeah, sometimes your own mom is like making sexual jokes at your husband.
And mother through it all is still, he's just a voice of calm and reason?
No, he hated it.
I bet.
He was like, can we not? Because I was kind of like encouraging it because my mom was suddenly nicer to everyone because she was, you know what I mean? She was like getting her kicks off or whatever the saying is.
Woo!
Yeah, she was like, yeah.
Yeah. My mother, when she was in a bunch of nursing homes for a long time, she would take a liking to some of the male nurses.
Right?
And she would flirt so hard.
Mm-hmm.
She had one nurse, he was so whipped against the rules of the hospital.
Okay.
He would bring her in a secret Mountain Dew every day.
Wow.
Because she wanted it.
So, I mean, I would fall in love if
Right.
I felt, trapped or something in a
Yeah.
place that I wasn't familiar with. Whoever is bringing me Mountain Dew every day secretly,
We married.
yeah, I'd be like, he loves me.
You're bae.
He's obsessed.
You're bae.
Yeah.
And then she was also really good. So if the nurse wasn't a man, but the nurse was a woman, she would quickly figure out if the woman nurse was good at doing black hair.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were, she would convince them to come do her hair every day
Yeah, that's
before their shift.
yes.
She was an operator,
I love that.
right?
She's a survivor.
This
And
is
she looked good. She had to look good for the guy who gave Mountain Dew.
the hair was laid. Mountain Dew showed up and the braids were sharp.
Yeah, you think she's
Yeah.
going to look messy for her boyfriend? No.
Yeah, it is very interesting though because my mother dealing with her severe mental illness in a different way, and yours. People who are going through that kind of mental health struggle, they get very good at, in a way that can serve them or not, they get very good at being emotionally manipulative. They
Yes.
get good at charming.
Wow, that's a new
They
part
become-
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're charmers. Because so much of them is also just trying to protect against their mental illness. So my mother could make a friend anywhere.
Oh,
In
that's
the depths of her depression and dementia, she could still make a friend.
Oh, wow.
It was a survival tactic,
That's great. My mom's not good at that.
Really?
My mom isn't good at being charming. She's given up on that.
Okay.
She's just aggressive, but emotionally manipulative that way.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yeah.
By being mean, really mean.
Mm.
Yeah, totally.
Y'all
yeah.
on good terms?
Yes, yeah. I'm probably the family member that's nicest to her and will let her sort of be her way.
Yeah.
It's not great, but
Yeah.
because I was like, yeah, Mom, we're gonna get you laid, and everyone else was like, Otsko, stop encouraging this bad behavior.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I
like,
lost the plot point. We never closed the loop on you trying to get a sex worker for your schizophrenic mother.
sex work is work. We need to legalize it because I could not find somebody.
Also, if you get your mother a sex worker, she'll stop hitting on your husband.
Well, that was my thought. I thought, she deserves it.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna have Ryan sleep with her, right?
Although, we were just a few minutes ago, ending the bathtub
I was like,
scenario.
yeah, that's my grandma. My grandma would be I just think she'd be a gentler lover. You know what I mean? I care about my husband.
I love you so much.
Are these any of the questions you meant to hit today?
No, ma'am. I mean, some of them.
I come with a warning as a guest.
Listen, this is audio gold.
I love it.
I was gonna make you give us a cheer from your days of cheerleading, but I'm not gonna put you through that unless you want to.
I'm trying to remember if I remember any. We could do one together.
You're gonna have to teach me. I was a mascot for like half a year.
You were?
I was a cougar at St. James Catholic School. It's too hot. I had to stop.
Mascots,
It's hot. You could like pass out.
they do the Lord's work.
Come on.
Nobody knows who you are. You're not getting the credit. You have
And
to
everyone's
still
making
do the
fun of you.
moves.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Keep laughing.
And yeah.
Our cheer. What is it?
Well, there was one that was like, "There's no stopping us." Gondo fans. I went to Venice High School, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Very close to where we are now.
Yeah.
I think.
And it's a beautiful high school. It's gorgeous.
Oh,
It's a
thank you
gorgeous
so
building.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Someone got shot on the day of our graduation.
LA, baby.
It's LA. It's Venice High School. We were self-taught.
We were
You know?
self-taught,
Yeah.
yes.
The cheers, the girls on my squad were like, if it wasn't for cheer, I would have joined a gang. It was like that.
And cheer is a certain kind of gang.
No, totally.
Caution.
Yeah.
Please
It was like,
mind
there's no
speed.
stopping us. Gondo fans, yeah, go. Yeah, it was something like that.
Go, go,
Yeah.
go, go.
Thank
Watch
you.
Utsko Special
Wow.
on Hulu.
Thank you so much.
It's called Father. She is Father. It's out now. Watch it. And then watch it again. And then tell your friends
Yeah.
to watch it.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next week.
This show is a co-production between Sam Sanders Productions and KCRW. We are distributed nationally by PRX. Our showrunner is Tyler Green. Our senior producer is Bennett Purser. Phil Richards is our technical director. Bo Delmore is our video lead. Luis Pena is our switcher, video editor, and sartorial consultant. Alicia Etup composed our theme music. Eddie Sun helped with production this week. And together, Arnie Seipel and I executive produce this show. All right, if you like what you've heard today, you can find all my interviews on your favorite podcast app, on YouTube, and at kcrw.com/Sam Sanders. All right, till next time, be good to yourselves.
PRX.
While NASA's future remains somewhat in flux, the space agency has a passionate advocate in actor Tom Hanks. I'm Craig Cohen. We revisit our conversation with Hanks about space exploration and Space City on Houston Matters, Monday morning at 9 on News 88.7.
I'm Anita Rao. People with disabilities are often excluded from conversations about parenting. So one inner-abled couple built their own playbook.
The way I was going about the days wasn't like the way I had seen parenting pictured. It was the way I could do it.
A conversation about disability and parenting. Next time on Embodied.
Embodied, Sunday nights at 8 p.m. on News 88.7.
Your NPR station, News 88.7 KUHF Houston, a service of the University of Houston. Get local and breaking news anytime at houstonpublicmedia.org. Listen to us on your favorite devices. Tell your smart speaker to play News 88.7.
From Futuro Media and PRX, it's Latino USA. I'm Maria Hinojosa. Today, we're going to look at the erosion between the Democratic Party and Latino and Latina voters. For a long time, the Democratic Party believed immigration was the #1 issue to gain Latino voters.
Democrats thought that the immigration issue was the centerpiece, the be-all, end-all issue for Hispanics.
And there was a time that Latino and Latina voters were pretty loyal to the Democrats, but that's been changing a lot in the last few years.
You can't argue with the trend. Support has declined in 3 consecutive presidential cycles, when in previous cycles it had only been growing.
What went wrong? Well, there's a passionate disagreement on the answer to that question. Coming up on Latino USA, stay with us, no te vayas.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Hurst. The Trump administration is defending its latest mass deportation effort, including Thursday's immigration raids in Southern California. And the White House says it's going to appeal a federal ruling that blocks immigration officers
straight on.
from detaining people solely based on race. NPR's Luke Garrett has more.
A federal judge in California said Friday there was a mountain of evidence supporting claims that immigration arrests in Southern California were often based on race and ordered the Trump administration to stop the sweeps. Trump's border czar Tom Homan denies that immigration officers are racially profiling detainees, but admits to CNN people with legal status sometimes get caught up in the raids.
We do have collateral arrests in many areas because we're out looking for those public safety threats.
Democratic Senator Alex Padilla of California tells CNN people have reason to worry.
What if I was outside of Home Depot because I like to do some work around the house, not dressed in a suit? Would I be a target of ICE enforcement?
The White House says it arrested hundreds of people during the Thursday raids at 2 cannabis farms in Southern California. Luke Garrett, NPR News, Washington.
1 year after the assassination attempt against President Trump during a Butler, Pennsylvania campaign rally, the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs released a report today saying the Secret Service denied, quote, multiple requests for additional assets and resources to protect Trump during the campaign. Another report by the Government Accountability Office criticized the Secret Service's practices for sharing threat information. One rally goer was killed, 2 others wounded when a gunman opened fire from a nearby roof. A bullet grazed Trump's ear. A makeshift memorial is growing in Kerrville, Texas, just a few hundred feet from the Guadalupe River. The memorial pays tribute to the victims of the July 4th flooding that's killed at least 128 people. At least 160 are still missing. Selah Aranda of Texas Public Radio has more.
Every day, more pictures are added to the memorial, and every picture is surrounded by flowers, turning what was a chain link fence into a tribute to the victims. Alicia Duff brought her daughter Eliana to the memorial after picking her up from a camp about an hour away. Duff decided to stop by because one of the Camp Mystic girls who died in the floods was Eliana's friend.
It's kind of hard to get through this stuff as an adult, you know. It's a whole other thing is when, you know, kids are losing a friend that's a child of a child age. I think it's a whole nother process of grief.
The search and recovery mission was halted Sunday due to rain, but many still showed up at the memorial to pay their respects and grieve. I'm Sadie Aranda in Kerrville.
U.S. futures contracts are trading lower at this hour. Dow futures down around 0.4%. This is NPR News. A historic lodge on the Grand Canyon's North Rim has been destroyed by a 5,000-acre wildfire. National Park officials say in addition to the Grand Canyon Lodge, the only lodging at the North Rim, the visitor center, gas station, and a wastewater treatment plant were also destroyed, along with some employee housing and an administration building. Millions of people visit the Grand Canyon National Park each year, with most going to the more popular South Rim. The North Rim is open seasonally and was largely evacuated last week because of a wildfire. Some states are taking action as more users look to AI chatbots for mental health therapy and treatment. From member station KUER, Macy Lipkin has more.
Utah's Office of AI Policy launched a year ago. It saw mental health chatbots as a potential service and a potential threat. Zach Boyd is the director.
I think our legal challenge was to find a way to legitimize and facilitate the growth of this clinically oriented product base, while putting in place basic consumer protections.
Some protections and guidelines became law during Utah's 2025 legislative session. One rule is that a chatbot can't pose a bigger risk to the user than a human therapist, and therapists must be involved in the product's development. In June, the office shared best practices with mental health professionals. For NPR News, I'm Macy Lipkin in Ogden, Utah.
At Wimbledon, Jannik Sinner beat the two-time defending champ Carlos Alcaraz today in the men's singles final. This is NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, supporting creative people and effective institutions committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. More information is at macfound.org.
At All Things Considered, what unites all our conversations is curiosity. Is he a good hugger? Whether we're speaking to an aid worker.
What would you want them to know or understand about what you all are dealing with?
scientist,
But what's in it for the Dolphins?
or a foreign leader.
If I may, I will ask the questions. By these right I will ask the questions.
Questions and answers every day on All Things Considered from NPR News.
All Things Considered, weekdays beginning at 3 p.m. on News 88.7.
Welcome to Latino USA. I'm Maria Hinojosa. Dear listener, a little history right here. You know, Americans started using the term Hispanic back in 1970. That's when the category was added to the census. And ever since then, there's been this perception that Hispanics would need their own political representation.
Nuestra presencia crece día a día, pero esto no es suficiente. Hay que hacerla sentir.
Now, for us, and frankly, the entire country, the preferred term has become Latino. And the number of Latinos and Latinas in this country since that first census has continued to boom. As of July of 2023, there are more than 65 million Latinos in the United States, making up over 19% of the nation's population. And they're a growing percentage of the country's electorate.
Latinos make up nearly 15% of all eligible voters, according to the Pew Research Center.
The hope for the Democratic Party, especially since the mid-aughts, was that the Latino vote would be reliably theirs, especially because they were the party pushing for more progressive immigration policies, or so they said. And Latinos have historically favored Democrats. Often more than 60% of Latino voters choose Democratic presidential candidates. However, the results of the recent presidential election, which elected Donald Trump, have led a lot of people to question that notion that Latinos and Latinas would be more reliably Democratic voters. Well, by now, it's been more than half a year after the election, and political strategists seem to have very different opinions about why Latinos are voting less for the Democratic Party than ever before. Is it faulty data? Is it tone-deaf messaging? Is it an agenda that's too progressive or too moderate for Latino and Latina voters? Or is it something bigger? A question about whether actually a unified Latino vote with shared values and interests, does it even exist in the United States? This episode is a collaboration with Imperfect Paradise from LAist Studios. And I'm joined once again by Imperfect Paradise host, Antonia Cereijido. Hey, Antonia.
Maria, are you familiar with the iconic 2006 film, The Devil Wears Prada?
I mean, come on. Of course I am.
You are?
Oh my God, I love that film. It's such a New York film. And Meryl Streep is such an amazing actor. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I do. It's such a comfort movie for me. There's a reason I'm bringing it up.
Right.
And that's because there's this scene in that movie where the character Andy, who's played by Anne Hathaway, she's in one of her early meetings with her new boss, Miranda Priestley, who's played by Meryl Streep. And Meryl Streep is like picking between these two belts.
This is so Vogue. Vogue magazine, yes.
And she goes, oh, it's so hard because these two belts are so similar. And Hathaway's character like scoffs. And then Miranda Priestley gives her this like chilling look where she's like, oh, you think you're better than this? And then goes on to do this incredible monologue where she explains how actually the sad blue sweater that Anne Hathaway's character is wearing.
What you don't know is that that sweater is not just blue, it's not turquoise, it's actually cerulean.
The choice even to wear that sweater has a lot to do with like millions of dollars of corporate money that goes into people's paychecks, that it has this like trickle-down effect, and that has influenced Anne Hathaway's fashion choices.
And it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when in fact you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
Like a whole infrastructure that she can't even imagine.
It's an amazing takedown.
Yes. What's interesting is like that dynamic that Miranda Priestley is describing in this scene, it's not unique to the fashion world. I mean, and the story that you and I are telling today is about the people in an equivalent room, but in the realm of politics. The people who gather and study public opinion and then help shape the political messaging that ultimately trickles down into the bumper stickers, political lawn signs, desperate campaign emails and texts that we get asking for donations, and the TV campaigns we see. Maria, you've reported a lot on how this political world operates.
I mean, I've been covering elections since the early 1990s. So yeah, I've been covering this and the question of the money spent to reach out to Latino and Latina voters, first of all, in both parties, and the kind of messaging and who's doing the messaging and who's getting the money. Yeah, it's deep. It's fascinating political journalism. You know, but the truth is that Latinos and Latinas have not always been welcome at the highest levels of where the decisions are being made in terms of electoral politics and campaigns, etc. So appealing specifically to the Latino community as a political power is actually a phenomenon that really took off when the Latino population in the country grew from roughly 35 million in the year 2000 to 50 million in the year 2010, which, by the way, is the year that we launched Futuro, and we did that because we were looking at those numbers. I was like, this is what the future looks like.
Absolutely. The mid-aughts were this like moment where people are like, wow, the Latino population and the Latino electorate have like arrived, you know? And for Democrats, the hope was that this Latino vote would act like the Black vote, which by the mid-20th century had become this reliably Democratic bloc.
The belief, the orthodoxy of the Obama years was that there was this new emergent coalition of college-educated white people and people of color.
This is Mike Madrid. He's a veteran political strategist that founded the Lincoln Project, a political action committee made up of moderate conservatives and former Republican Party members who oppose U.S. President Donald Trump and Trumpism.
And where you had Black people who were a racially polarized vote, politically there needed to be an issue that created a racial voting bloc amongst Latinos where none existed.
And there was one issue that seemed like it could galvanize this potentially massive voting bloc.
For whatever reason, immigration was the #1 issue for Latino voters.
So data started to emerge backing up this idea. A firm called Latino Decisions released a poll in 2014 that had immigration as the #1 issue to Latino voters at 44%.
But the results of the last presidential election has really called into question whether immigration is an issue that, in fact, unites the Latino and Latina electorate. And going even deeper, it calls into question whether, well, is there a Latino vote worth organizing at all? Or is it just too fractured? We're going to go inside the fierce debate within the Latino polling and advocacy world. Yes, it's nerdy politics, but boy, is it revealing. I'm going to be back later in this episode, but for now, Antonia Cereijido is going to set the scene. Take it away, Antonia.
6 days after Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election, Unidos US, formerly known as the National Council of La Raza, held a virtual press briefing.
The webinar is currently being live streamed, and there will be a video recording of this soon after.
Unidos US is a nonprofit that aims to, quote, challenge the social, economic, and political barriers that affect Latinos at the national and local levels. 7 Zoom squares populated their feed that day. The expressions ranged from glum to sobered. Clarissa Martinez from Unidos US set the tone for the conversation.
There's been a lot of chatter about Latino voters. Many of us who have been working to increase Latino voter participation at times were joking that it felt like Latino voters were being more talked about than talked to.
The overall sentiment of the press briefing was wariness about the narratives around Latino voters that were emerging after the election. Headlines like the one Reuters published, quote, Trump's return to power fueled by Hispanic working class voter support, or Cal Matters, a pivotal moment, why many Latino voters in California chose Trump. Also the New York Times, Latinos bolted to the right in 2024.
Unfortunately, the headlines get written with imperfect information. And so in order to inform that in the here and now, as we continue to look ahead, we wanted to make sure that people had very robust information about Hispanic voters, who the majority of whom voted for Vice President Harris in every state except Florida.
The we that Clarissa is referring to is the people in this webinar, some of the most respected names in the Latino polling and advocacy space. People who represented organizations like America's Voice, the immigrant rights group, Somos Votantes, the largest independent Latino voter civic and voter engagement program in the country, and BSP Research, one of the preeminent Latino polling firms. Its co-founder, Matt Barreto, was part of the Kamala Harris presidential campaign. Gary Segura, the other co-founder of BSP Research, was participating in this webinar. In it, he shared exit poll data the firm had gathered and concluded that
Latino voters were not instrumental in the Trump victory. If no Latino had voted, the outcome would have been unchanged.
Segura's polling firm, BSP Research, found that 37% of the Latino vote went for Donald Trump this past election. Another exit poll from Edison Research had 46% of the Latino vote going for Donald Trump. That's nearly 10 points more. Either way, Latinos skewed more right than they ever had in modern politics. BSP and many of the other organizations represented in this webinar have claimed that they understand Latino voters better and more precisely than other institutions. Many of the organizations in this webinar have been leaders in messaging to Latino voters over the past decade.
We wanted to make sure that anyone in DC, whether it was a candidate, a campaign, an interest group, or the news media, that they could understand our community more accurately.
That's Matt Barreto, the other founder of BSP Research. He and Segura have been pioneers when it comes to specializing in polling that look at the Latino population. Before BSP, they started Latino Decisions, the polling firm that found that immigration was the top issue for Latino voters in 2014. Coming up, why Democrats thought immigration could be a winning issue. But the messaging maybe missed the mark. Stay with us, no te vayas.
Firms often appoint ex-politicians to boards to secure government favors. But is it in their best interest?
Welcome to Bauer Business Focus. I am Dr. Vanessa Patrick, Associate Dean for Research at the C.T. Bauer College of Business at the University of Houston.
And I am C.T. Bauer College of Business Professor of Management, Steve Sauerwald. While political directors can benefit firms through government connections, companies should have safeguards in place when adding ex-politicians to boards. These directors may align with shifting political climates, increasing the recruitment barriers for foreign workers on H-1B visas, which may limit the candidate pool and impact overall competitiveness. By creating effective board governance structures, like setting up human resource board committees, maintaining awareness of current political events, and increasing board diversity, firms can counteract these trends.
This has been Bauer Business Focus from the Bauer College of Business, sponsored by Texas Mutual Insurance Company. More episodes at houstonpublicmedia.org/Bauer.
Welcome back to Latino USA. I'm Maria Hinojosa.
You're listening to the final episode in a series collaboration between Latino USA and Imperfect Paradise. I'm Antonia Cereijido. Immigration has been an issue that has mobilized a lot of Latino voters, at least here in California.
Things are very anti-immigrant here in California.
Angelica Salas is the president of CHIRLA, the Coalition for Human Immigrant Rights in Los Angeles. She started working at the organization as a volunteer 30